Zane Clodfelter with Otters TV, here with the voice of the Gateway Grizzlies. They're in town for the 3-game series, Nate Gatter. Okay, so I've been with the Otters since 2011. The Grizzlies had Adam Young, had Sam Levitt, and now they have another big broadcaster in you. So I don't know what it is about the Gateway Grizzlies.
Yeah, I mean, I'm only I don't know that I can take any credit for their success, but I'm only the 4th guy we've had actually in 18 years, which for a minor league baseball team at any level, let alone at indie ball, is very few. Joe Pott before that has his name out on the wall back in Sojay, so we've been very fortunate, certainly.
No, I've seen the, what is it, Joe Pott bobblehead that you guys have at the ballpark. Yeah. I've done a couple of games on radio at GCS and always enjoyed my time out there.
Yeah, I don't know, but I would assume that not very many Frontier League broadcasters have had their own bobbleheads. So Joe has that distinction. He's at Southern Illinois, Edwardsville now, does a great job doing their Division I sports, men's basketball.
On Fox Sports Midwest.
Sure, yes. Yeah, he does some TV as well. Adam's doing great work. He's in New Mexico State, and they've had a lot of success. He's been there in NCAA tournaments in basketball and baseball. Same thing with Sam, who's in AA now with the Corpus Christi Hooks, the AA affiliate of the Astros. Sam Levitt actually got a World Series ring.
Did he really?
Yes, he did. This spring, they had a whole ceremony down there with the Hooks. The benefit of being so close to Houston, there's a lot of kind of cross-marketing that happens, and so Sam arrived at the right time.
Yeah, no, Sam's impressive too, because he also does some Big Ten Network stuff for women's basketball. So no, there'd be times I tune in to watch IU women's basketball on Tyra Bus, and there's be Sam Levitt doing Big Ten Network.
Never know where you're going to see some Frontier League, right?
No, hey, no, it's amazing. The Cubs public address announcer, if you didn't know, is a former Rockford Aviators PA guy.
How about that?
Wrigley. So I actually applied for that job. I have been here for, I think, maybe 1 year. I'm not even a Cubs fan. I like the Cardinals, but that job opened up, and I'm like, man, I do public address work at the 3rd oldest active ballpark.
Why not upgrade?
Yeah, why not upgrade to the 2nd one? They didn't call, but they called the guy in Rockford. So so good for him. Now, you travel with the team. You go to the other 11 ballparks. Which ballpark? And you don't have to say this one. We'll preface that. You don't have to. What other ballpark aside from GCS is your favorite?
I think it depends what you're looking for. My favorite, just the structure and the actual ballpark themes and things, is Joliet, actually. They don't get very good attendance, which sometimes makes their games themselves not as much fun. But as far as the actual ballpark, I love that one. I mean, I'm a sucker, though, for the old school stuff. And I told you, from the moment I stepped into this ballpark, I love working here. I love how it sounds. Even last night, I mean, a good crowd for a Tuesday night, but 1,200 people is not incredible, but it just has a sound and a feel to it that just feels like baseball from some year before I was born that I, pretend to be able to remember or pretend to be able to romanticize, even though it was way before I was around. But I think there are precious few ballparks at this level that are still unique. I think it's become so common to build ballparks that are variations of the same thing at this level for economic reasons and what have you. And certainly playing in a 100-year-old ballpark has its drawbacks, I'm sure. But I think that you don't find romance like this very often at this level.
Speaking of the drawbacks, do me a favor. So you said all these nice things.
Yeah.
If the internet goes out at any duration of the game, just remember all the positive things.
You know what? It's better than the internet in Florence for sure.
Okay, great.
Okay, so we got that. It's probably better than the internet in Washington too, although that's a very pretty backdrop. So we give them their break. The mountains are pretty enough to make up for the bad internet.
But Southern Indiana's nice too, right?
Yes, obviously.
No.
Where else can you go into a barbecue pit that looks like it is just one big bathroom from the outside? And it was terrific. We went there last night. It was my first time.
Right across the street.
It was outstanding. I was so amazed. We almost missed it.
No, it's a nice hole-in-the-wall place. Okay, so I always ask our players, the longest trip for us, and it might be for you guys too, has to be up to Traverse City, right?
Yeah, that's right there. It's either Traverse City, Lake Erie, and Washington are all similar. Luckily this year we have an off day in front of the Traverse City trip and the All-Star break on the back end, so we're spoiled this year.
So how do you handle those long bus trips?
Our worst one this year is going to be going to Lake Erie because we have an off day before, but on the way back, no off day. We play a Thursday night game there and come back and play at home the next night. So we'll probably get back around 7 in the morning, something like that, and play that night. And it's a challenge, but honestly, at this level, compared to I did summer college ball when I was in college. I worked in the Northwoods League before my first summer here. So my second year here in 2016, I was in the Northwoods League, and we did a similar trip like that and had a split doubleheader the next day. That league is 72 games in 76 days, and it's 2-game series, so you're constantly picking up and going. So really, the Frontier League, all things considered, I think there's a lot to be thankful for here. I mean, I think in many ways, both on the field, off the field, buses, hotels, what have you, the Frontier League operates as a solid Class A league. And there's a lot at the rookie levels and the instructional levels that is far below this. And I think there's a lot to be thankful for here.
Gateway is a short drive from Evansville. If you just go west on I-64 to the Otters fans that you can kind of appeal to right now, why should you make the short drive west and go see a game between the Otters and Grizzlies at your ballpark?
I think in some ways GCS Ballpark is the opposite of what we have here in the sense that it's much newer. It was built in 2003, but it has a lot of the amenities. I think the sight lines are fantastic. There really genuinely is not a bad seat, and the food is outstanding. I mean, I think that's the main reason to make the trip. Have a lot of food, including, and I'm not necessarily recommending this per se, but I'm just putting it out there, going into the Frontier League Hall of Fame this year as a significant moment in Frontier League history. And keep in mind, this is only the 5th class, so we're up there with the most significant moments here. Is baseball's best burger that you can find only at GCS Credit Union Ballpark. It is a thick hamburger, sharp cheddar cheese, bacon,
very sharp,
and a Krispy Kreme donut. And Grizzlies general manager Steve Gomrick will tell you it's actually not much worse for you than a regular burger.
Really?
I don't know if that's true exactly, but he says it with strong belief.
Okay. I normally do a game or two on radio at UCS Ballpark. I might have to find him and just do I've had one.
Yeah.
I've had one.
As have I.
And it was fantastic, but I felt like I shouldn't probably have another.
Yeah, it was. It's one of those things where I think you're best off getting it with 3 or 4 people and just everybody have 2 or 3 bites and you leave it at that.
I do like your ballpark though because it's always stocked full with Diet Pepsis.
Yes.
In the fridge. And then something you mentioned is the complete opposite. How about the fans when you're at Bosse Field? The fans and that crowd mic. Have you ever picked up anything that you wish the crowd mic wouldn't have picked up? Like this kid crying back here?
Well, this year not as much because the 50-50 crowd is no longer right in front of the visiting broadcaster.
You're welcome.
Because
welcome.
That used to be trouble. That was cause for all kinds of issues. But no,
that was our gift to you.
Right. Last year, we always say that you get a kind of an older demographic here than you do at Soche. Our market tends to be a lot of young parents and kids, kind of younger families whose kids want to get out and see baseball but don't want to pay Cardinals prices for 6-year-olds or whatever. Be perfect market for minor league baseball. These are mostly a lot older folks here. And so you get those moments. Last night we had this 10th game in the 9th inning. It's a 1-run game. Otters down to their final out, and I'm pumping up that the Grizzlies are close to the win. And you get somebody who's like, "Hey, Bobby," in the stands. I'm like, "Oh man." Yeah. But we had bark in the park at our ballpark on Sunday, and the same thing happened. Okay. It was dogs barking in the middle of the close 9th inning. So you get it in some form or fashion.
Any sound is good sound, though, right?
Yeah, sure.
When we had the train go across the tracks, one of my favorite memories, my first year here. There we had a Chamber of Commerce night. We had a big crowd of people parked on the actual train tracks. And so we had to make a couple of announcements. Hey, you need to move your car. There's a train coming. The train had to stop, was blocking the road. After the 4th announcement, I made one last plea. I said, if you don't move your car, I gave the license plate, the train is going to move it for you. And within 3 minutes, the train, sounded the horn and went about its way. So really, there's a lot of cool memories. Frontier League, you never know what you're going to run into. I've been fortunate, last thing, to go to your greatest night in baseball.
Yes.
The last couple of years, the Otters have closed the regular season.
Yeah, I was disappointed to see you guys are just missing it this year.
I know, no, by 3 days?
Yeah, you guys, we have a 6-game homestand at the end of the year, and you're our penultimate opponent.
Yeah, see, and I might go out there just for the Thursday, because going to GCS Ballpark late in the year has become a tradition. But I did enjoy, we all get the rolls of toilet paper. I threw it horribly, but some guy in one of the open-air suites on the upper level was able to finagle his way around where he was reaching into our press area. So that was
we have a good time. If you can come out, and like you said, it's not a long a ride to Soche. If you can make it out, and we have 7,000 plus people in the ballpark for that every year. It's the last game of the year, the Sunday before Labor Day. Every year, the greatest night of baseball, and there are giveaways like crazy, prizes for every single out the entire game, and we all TP the ballpark at the end of the game. It's really a special experience, and having the Otters there last year was a lot of fun to finish out the year. It worked out for everybody because The Otters won, I think it was on Friday night in the first game of the series
Yeah.
to clinch a playoff spot.
And
then we
yeah.
went on and won the next 2 games to win the series, go out on a high note.
Yeah.
All our big crowds celebrated, so everybody won in that series.
I was happy, and I didn't have to clean up my toilet paper.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
All our interns do that for you. That's the best part.
yeah, no, that really is great. He's Nate Gatter. I'm Zane Clodfelter. This has been Otters TV.